Everyday Orthodox. I'm your host, Elisa Bielatich-Davis. And as you know, we get together here on Sunday evenings to meet new everyday Orthodox Christians, kind of building up church unity, one person at a time, right? We'll get to know one another and we'll understand that we're brothers and sisters in Christ, and we'll come to understand and love each other. So that's the plan anyway. But actually, we have been doing this show for 8 years. I have met a lot of people and been able to introduce you to them and interview them, and it's been delightful. I'm really enjoying it. But 8 years is a really long time. So we're actually going to be wrapping up Everyday Orthodox. It's going to be finishing at the end of this month, January. So we have our show tonight. We have another interview tomorrow night. And then the last night, January 25th, we'll do just kind of a wrap up, and we'll talk about 8 years of history and what a joy it's been. So thank you for joining us tonight and for all of these nights. And I really appreciate it. But we're not done yet. And I really have such a cool person to introduce you tonight. Her name is technically Matushka Anastasia or Anastasia. I always say Anastasia, but everybody says Anastasia, so we'll go with that. But she's
right.
from Shreveport, Louisiana. Her name, so she's Angela Cory, but she's a recent diaconisa. She's Matushka. Her husband became a deacon just lately. So she's got a new rank, and she's doing all kinds of new stuff. But so we're going to get to know Angela. So Angela, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Like, for inviting me. It's such an honor.
I'm so excited to have you on the program. I really enjoyed meeting you, and you have such a great story, and you're just a lovely person. It's so fun. It's so good to get to know people. And, you know, the one thing I like about this show is that you don't have to have done something huge. You know, you don't have to have some big accomplishment to tell us about or something to advertise. It's just, my favorite episodes are just talking to people about their lives. It's so nice. So let's hear about yours. Like, where does your story start? Where were you born?
Oh, man. Okay. So I was born and raised in Shreveport, Louisiana. I've been here all of my 44 years. Wow. I have one sister. It's just me and my sister, Ashley, who happens to be also Presbyterian Ashley. And it's crazy because we grew up in a very, very small country Baptist church, like out in this little, like, nowhere. And we grew up there really until we were about 9. I was 9 or 10 years old. And then we moved to like a much larger, and it was a pretty big Baptist church. So we grew up Baptist. Very devout Baptist parents. My dad drove a bus around the neighborhood and would pick up kids that, couldn't get to church. We were there Wednesday night, Sunday morning, Sunday night. Like, if something came up, we had to reschedule because we could not miss church.
So you're well prepared for the life of a deacon's wife. Like, that's,
I knew it's
been
crazy
going to church
because,
for a while.
Yes, for a while. Yes, for a while. We stayed there, and then when we moved to the bigger Baptist church, it's crazy because that's where I ended up meeting my husband, Father Jason, and it all of this ties in together. It's crazy how it all ties into where my story goes.
Right. That's interesting. It's amazing. So let's start though at the beginning here. So it's you and your sister, and your parents obviously are very devout, and they're giving you a very religious upbringing. So I'm not even going to ask yet, oh my gosh, what do your parents think about all this? But before we get to that, what did you think about church as a kid? Were you and your sister, I assume, would be involved in like a youth group and things like that? Was it really important to y'all? Did you like it? Or
it was. That's all we did. That's all we did. We were a part of every youth group, every choir. Once we moved on to the larger Baptist church, we were in the choir. We went on youth trips, missionary trips. It was just, that was really what our life consisted of, was just church all the time.
Did you feel, I guess it's kind of everything, but did you feel like it was mostly like a community of you guys doing things, or did it feel to you like a really spiritual? But I mean, I think it can be both, honestly. But for some people, it can be more one or the other, right? What did it feel like for you?
It probably felt like more of I would say just a community, just being with, at that point, just being with our friends.
Yeah. I think a lot of times when you grow up in it, right, and it's like, this is what our friends do, you don't really think of it so much as like a unique spiritual journey. You think of it as like, this is what we are all doing today.
Yeah. This is just it's so different now. But I look at it now, like back then, and it's like, it was really just, you were doing all these things with your friends.
That sounds beautiful. Sounds
and
really wonderful.
I mean, and it was beautiful.
That's excellent. So Shreveport, how big a town is that? And has it gotten bigger since you were younger, I assume? I mean, everywhere seems to have either shrunk or gotten huge.
Yes. Right? Everything around me, like, it's crazy because my kids, of course, think I'm old, but it's grown so much. Like, I couldn't tell you, Alyssa, how many people are in Shreveport. I have no idea.
So, but it was smaller when you were young, right?
It was.
A smaller town.
It was much smaller, and like areas now that, like, I remember growing up in and walking around, like, you don't really go to those areas anymore, because they're not safe. And it's crazy because, like, it's just crazy how things can change over time.
Absolutely. Well, I would assume, probably around Katrina, probably Shreveport changed too, right? Because I know the whole Louisiana population kind of reassembled in new places, and that makes sense.
Definitely changed.
Yeah. So so you were mostly doing church things. Were you also doing like extracurricular stuff at school, or was it, no, it's pretty much you screwed?
Man, I did not. It's so funny because, like, me and Ashley were she was very outgoing. She was the cheerleader and doing all of and I was the quiet, very shy.
What did you like to do? If not,
I love to read.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm honest, I love to read, and I spent so much time with my grandmother. Like, she was alone, and she was like my person.
Oh, that's neat. That's neat. What was she like?
I did everything. Oh, that's so wonderful. Like, I always laugh though, because she wasn't like a grandmother that, like, you think of these days, that like just gives their grandkids everything they want,
right?
Like fun. And she wasn't even like that. We just hung out. Like, we just would watch TV.
It wasn't like that back then, was it? I mean, I don't think anybody had a grandmother like our moms are being right now, right? They're all like, I'm going to take you to the amusement park, and then I'm going to buy you a dress. It's like, what is that? My grandma was like, I'll crochet, and you can sit here and watch me. And it was nice.
Oh, no, right. And cross-stitching. I mean, we would cross-stitch. Like, those are the things. But I loved being with her.
Oh, so that's neat. That's really
I spent
neat.
so much time there.
Oh, that's lovely. Actually, I mean, that's really a very nice childhood, actually. It's pretty good.
Oh, no, I would not take that back.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. So then as you started getting older, what did you start to see like for your future, in your teen years? When somebody'd say, what are you going to be when you were going to grow up? What kind of answer were you thinking about?
I always thought I was going to be a nurse. Like, I always told my parents, like, I'm going to be a nurse. And then I learned that, no, that is not for me, because needles are not my friend. And I was like, that's not going to happen. Honestly, right?
It's real hard to find a way.
The needles in the blood, I was like, this isn't going to work. And so I didn't know. I spent so much time though, just at church and hanging out with people, that honestly, like, and unfortunately, like, my parents didn't go to college. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't really pushed for me or Ashley to go. It was more like, you can if you want to, or, get a job.
Right.
And so I did. Like, I got a job probably my senior year. I started working at a hospital, but not like, it was more like radiology things.
Okay.
And I did that for a very long time. And so,
you found a way to do it without needles. You found a way.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool.
I found a way.
Cool. Now, but you never studied radiology stuff at all, right?
I did not.
You just kind of learned on the job and it worked. That's cool. That's neat. That's very neat.
I met so many wonderful people. I loved that time.
That's really neat. That would be a great job. I love that idea. That's cool.
Yeah.
But so as I guess you were in the Baptist church or in the larger church. Mm-hmm. So when you're in the bigger church or in the choir and stuff like that, as you got older, did you start like leading youth groups or something? I mean, when you were kind of aged out of the youth group, how did it evolve?
Okay. Well, that's kind of where Father Jason comes in. Okay. And so my sister met at that time, Jason, and they got married very quickly. And he became the college and career minister at this Baptist church.
Oh, it's a big church then. Yeah. College and career minister. Like that's when they got a lot of ministers on staff.
Right. So it was a big church. So he was the college and career minister and he did that for, years. That's where we went on trips, but that's also, so he introduced me to Derek. Because Derek had come to the church and wanted to help, just wanted to serve and wanted to help. And so Jason took him under his wing and he started helping him and then introduced us and was like, the next thing we knew, we were getting married. And wow, it was crazy.
Wow. What was he like? So how old were you when you met?
Oh my goodness. I think I was 21.
Okay. And so what was he like? He was a friend of Jason's and he was working hard for the church. But what was he excited about? What was he interested in doing?
Really, it's crazy because the same thing that he does now. Like he just wanted to help Father. Like he just wanted to help him in the church and learn and study and literally just be his right-hand man. Like perfect. He's done that.
And now he's a deacon. Perfect.
And now he's a deacon.
Wow. That's cool.
Crazy how it all.
So the four of you, right? Two sisters married to two good friends. The four of you are in this Baptist church and you're perfectly happy there. What ended up happening to draw anybody away? I assume it would be Father Jason who moved first.
It was.
Yeah, I figured.
Of course it was.
Yeah. And for our listeners, if you don't know, we're talking about Father Jason Foster. He's in Shreveport, Louisiana, and he's well known just for being a great priest and a great guy. But that's the Jason we're talking about. But anyway, so you were all in the church. They were ministering in the church.
Yes.
So you would think that they were they're pretty ingrained there. They're pretty permanent. What happened?
Okay, well, so Father Jason he loves to study. And the next thing we know, he and my sister and three of their children picked up and moved to England, where he was going to go to Oxford. Oh, wow. Yes, it surprised all of us.
That's huge.
And was also devastating because that was so far. And, I didn't want them moving, but he did. He went to Oxford. And the whole time he was there, we had slacked off on going to the Baptist church because everything Father Jason was taking in, he was giving to Derek. Like, study this, read this, and so we weren't really in church probably at that time like we should have been because it was just like we didn't feel like that was where we were supposed to be. It was like we were there because of course, that's where we grew up, but we knew something just had to change.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of where it started, was him leaving to go to Oxford. And I think actually while they were in Oxford, he flew back home and married us in the Baptist church. And then he went back. I'm trying to think, that was in December of 2004 that we got married. And then I ended up having my first child, December of 2005.
Right away. That's how you do it.
Right away.
That's what I did too. And then later you're like, oh, maybe we should have just been newlyweds. But,
yes.
you're excited. You want to have kids.
Yeah, you want to have kids.
I get it.
Maybe wait.
Right.
I know.
And here they are.
Great.
There you go. That's great.
Right, they're here.
That's great.
But that's really how it all started. I mean, and even when they came home from Oxford, none of us went back to the Baptist church. We just started visiting churches around the area, like Episcopal.
Oh, wow.
I mean, we just started visiting, trying to figure out, because.
Now, where were your parents in this?
Still at the Baptist church. At this point, They were still there.
Okay. And were you guys telling them about all this stuff that you're reading, and they were kind of like, stop reading?
They thought we were crazy. Like they thought we were crazy. They thought
it was crazy. Did they think like they didn't like it, or they just thought it was crazy? I mean, I would assume if you've raised your two girls in the church, that like I know being Orthodox, raising my kids Orthodox, and being like really hands-on and good and pious and active, and then both of them start wandering off, it'd be hard. That would be a tough moment, I think, for a parent.
Oh no, I think it really, I really think it was. I think it all kind of got hard when my sister and Jason moved to England.
Sure.
That really kind of did my parents in, just confused, why do we have to go that far to study? And yes.
I mean, they found a nice boy in town at the church. Like, you're not supposed to go off to England. That's not part of the cards. Oh gosh, that would be crazy.
So yeah, I don't want to say I don't want to say they didn't like it, but almost didn't like it because it was so different than what we grew up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, like I said, I always assume when I remember the times with my own parents going through all of that when I converted and everything, I think just about myself as a parent and, well, how would I feel about that right now? Like I would probably be okay about it. I'd be nice, but I don't think I'd be happy. I don't think I'd be real happy.
Oh, no.
No. But so, okay. So Jason was back by the time your baby was born, or were they still in England?
No, they were back. So they were back by the time she was born. And that's kind of when we were visiting around. And then during all of this visiting churches, we ended up at a Greek Orthodox church. And I had never even heard of orthodoxy. So I had no idea what I was getting into, where we were going. And it was very much of a shock to me. Of course, my husband walked in and fell in love with the church. And I struggled a little bit more.
Yeah.
I struggled a little bit more. Well, and, it was in English and Greek. And, so I didn't understand what was going on. And I had also come from singing in a 200-person choir to completely different.
Absolutely. And not only different, but I mean, really a totally different style of worship, right? A different way of thinking about it.
Completely.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I always think about it's so interesting when a couple or a whole family is able to convert together to me, because my husband was Orthodox and I converted to Orthodoxy real easy. But I mean, not easy for my parents, but in terms of the marriage, it went from being difficult to being easy when I converted. But I can imagine in your situation and in so many others, one person, it's very hard to be perfectly in sync. And I have interviewed people and asked them, and they say, no, we were just both at the same speed. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
But I think probably it's more common that one person is just at home and convinced, and the other person is sort of standing there trying to decide what to do.
Yeah.
Did you consider like somehow staying Baptist, or like, I mean, what were you thinking?
No.
Were you resigned to just having to follow? I mean, it's all four of you, right? I mean, this is worse than just a couple, actually, because it's the four of you going in.
It was the four of us.
Was Ashley in right away?
Yes, she was. Like, she said when she walked into that Greek Orthodox church, she she knew that's where she needed to be. Like,
wow.
So of course I felt horrible because I was like, I'm not there. I don't understand what's wrong with me. So it took, but thankfully, with her being my sister and Father Jason, they helped so much, like explaining and walking me through it. And Derek helped so much because they explained it in a way that I needed it dumbed down. Like, right. And
yeah.
Well, and now, I can't even imagine.
You can really take in and right. Like yes. For a lot of us that I always say, there are these people who convert, like I guess Father Jason, who they've read all these theology works and they understand the fathers and the concept of the church and they walk in and they love it. And, I did not come in that way either. And so it was really, I had a more kind of visceral experience and it was just like I needed to get locked into it. And it took me a really long time to get there, probably longer than it took you. So I get it. I think it's a really hard thing. It's very lucky for the people who do just sort of pick it up and they walk in and they feel so good about it. Yes. And it, when you're going through it, it's hard. I can't imagine with all three of them excited. But right. Did you eventually decide there wasn't anything wrong with you, or do you still think maybe like you were too slow for some reason?
So once Father Jason moved, like he ended up moving to New York, and he went to St. Vlad's and came back a priest. Just like that, we started our mission, Holy Nativity. And I remember Ashley coming to me and going, okay, you're going to sing in the choir. Like, I need you. That's what you're going to do. And no questions asked. And so I did. And I remember that first choir practice. I was like, Ashley, I can't sing like this. Like, this is not how the Baptists sing.
Right. Like, this is not the hymns I'm used to singing.
No. But to say that, it was, I tell her all the time, it was the choir that did it for me. Like the prayers and the hymns and following along with the readings, like they are absolutely beautiful. And to sit there and sing them, during a service is just, that was when I knew that this is where our family was supposed to be.
Oh, that's beautiful. But that makes sense. I see too, also with a mission. Missions are so great for our faith, right? Because you really have to participate. Yes. You have to get in there. I feel like, I was baptized and I don't feel like I was really Orthodox until I was in a mission. And it was like, okay, get to work. Now you're going to teach Sunday school. You're going to do this. You take that ownership and you get involved and you start. Orthodoxy is a lot about practical things. It's about singing hymns and baking bread and things like that. It really does sort of grow into you very beautifully when you're going through that and you have all those responsibilities and things to do and they need you. And I know for me, it certainly did. And it sounds like for you as well. I think it's beautiful to think about the choir being like the way that you were able to really enter the church. I think that's lovely. And I think that's probably true for a lot of other people. And for anybody out there who's struggling, like maybe try that because it's pretty.
Join the choir. Just join the choir.
Yeah. No, it's true. The hymns are beautiful. And I think when you come in, from just a biblical background, the hymns seem very foreign and strange. But when you really start listening to them, they are just stunning. And they're so scriptural that you start to get reassured, I think. Yeah. Oh, right. That's beautiful. That's so cool. All right. So you had a child. Was it a boy or a girl?
I did. My first was a girl.
Nice.
Yes, I had her. And then about 5 years later, I had my second, which was another girl. Nice. Which was crazy because, Prez, Ashley, and Father Jason have 6 girls.
Yes.
And then finally, in July of 2012, I had my third child, which just happened to be a boy.
Ooh,
so he is the only boy. Yes, he is the only boy out of all of these girls. So he's a little spoiled.
I bet. But he'll be a
He's
wonderful
little
husband
spoiled.
because he's got a lot of familiarity
will.
with women and their needs.
Yes, that is all he's surrounded by. It's just
Oh
girls.
my goodness. That is lovely. That's great. That is just great. So you decided to homeschool, right? I remember you
I
said you
did.
homeschool, right? Yeah.
I
Why'd
do.
you
I
decide to
homeschooled.
homeschool? Would you,
So we started that. My oldest, who like she just turned 20 last month. I started homeschooling her when she was in third grade. It's just Ashley had she was homeschooling all six of hers. And
wow.
I've watched my daughter, like she was just struggling with certain things in school, like the way they were teaching it. And I thought, why am I doing this? Like, let me bring her home. And then it also goes along with like, she would miss the services, like the feast days during the week and Holy Week. And, because she was in school. So I pulled her out and we just started homeschooling. And then once I had my other two, we just stuck with it. Like, it is not easy. It's not always fun, and they don't always like me very much. But I say all the time, like, I wouldn't take it back because, when Holy Week comes, like Derek takes vacation because he doesn't want to miss. And we're able to be at all the morning, the midday, the night services. And it's just such a blessing. If there's a feast day during the week, we put school down and we go to church.
That's beautiful.
And I just feel like that's so much, like that's so important, like to make sure that that's their, foundation.
Absolutely. And to really live the calendar like that, that's,
yes,
a lot of people aren't able to do it. And it really is.
No.
I mean, if you can make it work, my gosh, it's a beautiful thing. It's really a beautiful thing. That's wonderful. Well, I mean, that's
not easy, but it is wonderful. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not easy. But,
no, it is not easy.
That is so cool. All right. Well, so we're going to take a short break and then we'll be right back on Everyday Orthodox. We'll see you in a moment.
Year after Pascha, the Orthodox Church celebrates the holy myrrh-bearers, who cared for Jesus' body after he was crucified. But myrrh-bearing has a broader definition. It can serve as a metaphor for the practical, incarnate love to which Christ calls his followers. In The Art of Myrrh-Bearing, author Elisa Bielatich Davis explores the lives of grace-filled, myrrh-bearing saints in Scripture and throughout the life of the Church, offering questions for reflection in each chapter. By following the lead of compassionate saints, such as Joseph of Arimathea and Olga of Alaska, we can learn to embrace a simple and profound way of life in ever-deepening communion with Christ and with others. You can find this book at store.ancientfaith.com. Again, that is store.ancientfaith.com.
Welcome back to Everyday Orthodox. I'm Elisa Bielatich Davis. I'm your host. And we're here tonight with Diakonisa Angela, or Matushka Angela. She is the wife of a deacon in Shreveport, Louisiana. And we're learning all about their lives. And I'm still kind of amazed that your parents did such a good job raising two Baptist girls. I mean, it's really fantastic work. And then, everybody wandered off. But you mentioned earlier, you were saying they were still in the Baptist church back then. Did they end up following you guys?
They did.
How did that work out?
I think it started out, they just wanted to be with their kids and their grandkids. Mm-hmm. And so Father Jason always joked that they were like the longest standing catechumens in our church because they were catechumens for a very, very, very long time. I want to say probably like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
They,
Well, because they
were
weren't there.
catechumens.
They weren't there because they were convinced. They were really there for y'all.
No, they were there.
What
But now, I mean,
what do you think it was that changed it, that like kind of clicked for them?
You know what clicked? Like, they don't fully understand everything, but I mean, I think most of us don't, because there's so much, and it's, you know, but they like the reverence of it. And they were like, we do know that it's different than the Baptist church, because the prayers and the things that we hear you singing and you praying, like, they like it. And so, like, they're really, I mean, that's really, you know, they still struggle, I think, with things like kissing the icons, you know, and of course, kissing Father Jason's hand, because that's their son-in-law. So to them, they're like, why am I doing this? You know, and my dad, I mean, he's like this big country, you know, guy that, you know, he'll walk up and just kind of put his face down at the cross and move on and say, I love you. And, but they really do, like, they've really grown to love the church, and we have such a great community that loves on them. And so it's been good.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's really neat. It's lovely to be able to all be together like that. And it's neat that they would, I mean, in a way, they kind of made a sacrifice for that. And then hopefully it ends up feeling worthwhile and good, and they're happy to be there. But it's it's a big thing for them to have done, so that you guys could have them all together. And I think that's lovely. That's really neat. Gosh, I always talk to people whose families converted with them or after them, and I'm just like, gosh, you know, call my family and talk to them. I know that. That sounds so cool, but that's all right. That's all right.
Well,
I'm happy
Derek's parents did not.
Okay.
His parents. Oh, I think I will. His parents are still at the Baptist church.
You can grab it if you need to. That's all right. That's all right. You know, it's live. That's what's going to happen. It just happens sometimes. That's how that goes.
Happen.
Live show.
Okay, great. I love it. No, Derek. So Derek's parents are still at the large Baptist church that we grew up at. His parents still attend there. So
okay. All right. Great. Gosh. Yeah. See, I mean, that's how it is, I think, for a lot of us. You know, it's just you kind of negotiate it, and you hope people understand, and you try to be as gracious as you can. And yeah, I don't know. Did you guys go through a phase when you first converted where you were just wanting to tell them all the time all about the church, or were your husband or Jason, were they like that? Yeah, I think we started out that.
Derek was. Oh yeah, Derek always wanted to talk about it. Like, he loved sharing it with people and talking about it all the time.
Yeah, me too. I think that's why my family didn't convert, because I think I talked about it too much. It's overwhelming. But that's all right. That's all right. So tell me, at what point did your husband start to talk about becoming a deacon?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you know, for him, it was a really long process. He waited 8 years before he became a reader in the church. He really just loved serving, being in the altar. He was like the sacristan, so he was over everything in the altar, you know, keeping it clean, keeping it all in order. So about 8 years after being Orthodox, he decided to become a reader. He's a lot like me. He doesn't like to talk in front of people. He is very quiet. But he felt like that was what he was supposed to do after 8 years. And then from there, you know, it was really the same thing. He kept praying, like, if God wanted him to do more, he would, but he was okay where he was. He had no desire to move forward. But then about 4 years after that, he became a subdeacon. And then him and Father Jason just got to talking, and we needed a deacon. Derek doesn't like talking in front of people, and was like, I don't want to be a deacon. You know, that's a lot. And he was happy. Like, he was just content serving and helping in whatever way he could. but Father Jason talked him into doing the St. Stephen's course. And so he did that. And I mean, he loved it because it was so much studying. Like, yeah, I mean, he loved it. And so, I mean, he went through that. And then this past, I feel like it was August or in May, he graduated, because I think he actually graduated with you.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I'm pretty sure your husband and I were in the same cohort going through. And I did the master's, which only meant that I did a thesis on top of it. But those classes are fascinating. Like, if you enjoy studying theology and studying orthodoxy, if you're into that, it's heaven. It's so cool. It's just the greatest thing. It's the Antiochian House of Studies has a graduate program for like normal people who have jobs and can't pay $50,000 and can't move to Brookline or something. You know, it's for those of us with lives and children and all the rest. Right. But it is really a wonderful program. It's a lot of work, but it's a wonderful program. But so, I mean, that's interesting. I often think that, and that's one of the things we learned in those courses too, is the people who make the best clergy and the best bishops are always the people who didn't want to be. You know what I mean? It's like your St. Nicholas and your St. Basil's and stuff. They're not necessarily raising their hand and demanding attention and wanting to be in the middle of everything. They tend to be off to the side, and they're like, no, this is good enough. I don't need that. And somebody talks them into it, or it's really needed. And they're willing to do it because the church needs it, but they're not doing it to fulfill vanity or to feed their egos. And honestly, I think that's the best way. Not to say that if you're someone who wants to be a priest or a deacon, you shouldn't be, you know, not saying that it has to be against your will or anything, but it's true. I mean, there is a certain amount of, you get around maybe a certain amount of temptations and sins by being a person who just doesn't want the attention, doesn't want the power or anything else like that. But so he finished up this spring, and when was he ordained?
So he was ordained, I believe it was in August of 2025. Lately. So it was very lately.
Wow. Now, how has it been for you? Like, what in your life changes with that? Like, because you've got two things, right? One is your husband's a deacon, and the other one is, you're a deaconess, right? So it's like two different things. Or diaconisa, I should just say for the audience, I mean the wife of a deacon. But but it's really two role changes in a sense. So is it much different? What have you seen as different?
You know, really not much has changed. You know, it's crazy because so many of the people in our church, we have a ton of converts that actually, I mean, many of them came from the Baptist church that we were at. So I've known them since we were like 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
One that was a good friend of mine when I was 10 is now my godmother.
That's so cool.
I'm a godmother. It is. I mean, like, I'm a godmother to a friend from the Baptist church that has a child. And so really, I think, and we do have such a tight-knit community at Holy Nativity that for me, I don't feel like anything has really changed because I had such good relationships with everyone already that, I mean, everything for me has stayed the same. Derek can't say that, but I mean, I can say that, you know, nothing really has changed on my part yet. Yeah. I don't know if that will change or not, but we're just so close to everyone.
Oh, it is beautiful. Changed for him. What a neat parish. I'm telling you guys, like, I know Father Jason a little bit, not super well, but by reputation mostly. And the few times I've seen him, he's so neat. But this parish, you hear about this parish every once in a while, you know, and it's a beautiful thing. You just seem to be a really tight-knit, beautiful group of people. Yes. And it's lovely. It's really cool. Yes. So now, is your husband, he works full-time and he's a deacon. Is it taking up a lot of hours, like on weeknights and stuff, or is he really just being a deacon in the services? Does he have a lot of other stuff he has to take on?
He doesn't take on a whole lot outside of the church. The thing with Derek is he has his full-time job, but anytime that he can be at the church, that's where he wants to be. So he does, when he's there, he does his deacon parts. But when he's here, he's constantly reading, the prayers that the deacons have to read during the week. So he's doing those and constantly texting Father Jason. I'm scared I'm going to say FJ because because so many of us came from the Baptist church, they all go around calling him FJ.
That's awesome.
I keep wanting to say that. But he's always telling him, like, what can I do to help? Give me more. Because again, he just has such a huge heart for serving.
Oh, that's neat. Oh, that's so beautiful.
When he's not working, he's trying to find a way to be at the church.
That is a lovely thing. So by the time y'all converted, your daughter, your first daughter was maybe a little baby or something, right? So they've all grown up in the church. Oh, that's lovely.
They have.
That's really neat. But, I mean, I would imagine with, you have kind of a legacy of being very involved and helpful in the church. And I'm sure with their dad, they'll all have picked up some of that service. Does your son serve in the altar with him? And
he does.
Stuff like that. Oh,
he does. Cool. My girls won't join the choir yet. We're working on that. I'm trying to get my oldest to join the choir with me. But Luke, my son, he's been serving in the altar probably since he was about 6 years old.
Oh, neat.
And
that's wonderful.
It's beautiful because I watched him and because we homeschooled, I have so many videos of him. He would come home and he would play church. I mean, he had a little censer and he would pretend to read the gospel and,
that's awesome.
That's all he knew. It was great.
That is awesome. But so you guys, I mean, you're busy. You're homeschooling 3 kids. And so at what point did you decide, because I know you recently had kind of an adventure with fostering children. What was that? You just decided it just wasn't enough kids, or what made you decide to do that?
Well, I mean, I could blame it on you and your book.
That book does not say you have to foster anybody. It does not say that.
Oh man, it doesn't say that. To explain why in the world we would even consider this. When Derek was ordained a deacon, one of my goddaughters wanted, I guess, to give me a gift for his ordination. And she had not read your book, but she saw it on Amazon and she just ordered it. And she was like, I saw it. It looked really good. I thought you would like it. And she just wanted me to have it as a gift. And I don't read a lot of Orthodox books because they are very heavy and confusing. And Derek had given me enough that I was like, I can't, it's over my head. But Alyssa, oh my goodness, I started your book, The Art of Myrrh Bearing, and I could not put it down. It was, I'll try not to get emotional, but it has been one of the biggest blessings of my whole family's life. And it would be crazy how things would happen. I'd read a chapter, there was one chapter on death, in the Jesus Wept chapter. And I had just read it and I go to church and my niece is struggling because she had lost her godmother and she's struggling with she shouldn't be sad. And there's a part I had just read that talked about how Jesus wept and it's okay for us to be sad. And I was able to share that with her. And so then I ended up ordering 6 or 7 copies of this book. I was like, I want as many of these books to pass out. And so to get to the fostering, I got to the chapter on St. John Maximovich. And I read through the whole chapter and I was like, Derek, I have to share this with you. This is absolutely beautiful. And I start reading, when he was in Shanghai and how he loved the orphans and the children, and he started an orphanage and all of these things. And at the same time, my daughter comes home from babysitting a family that fosters 2 children, that they're not siblings. But I read this to Derek. She walks in the door and she's just very distraught. And she's like, I I need to talk to y'all. They are going to have to give up one of their foster children because the mom is pregnant with their first child. And this specific foster child has a lot of behavior issues. And would you ever consider fostering? Me, I was like, Emily, you've lost your mind. Like,
wow.
I have 3 kids. Like, I can't, and it doesn't, I'm trying to explain to her, it doesn't work like that. I can't just say, yes, I'll foster. And we take him.
Right. Yeah, there's a whole government agency and a process. You can't just go pick the kid up.
No.
But,
I can't.
That's uncanny. God works that way, though, right? Like you get you hear the story you need to hear on the day you need to hear it, and then you've got it. And
yes,
that's quite a coincidence. St. John at the same time.
St. John has been through. Like he keeps finding ways.
Right.
I mean, of course. I'm like, no, my husband is like, well, wait a minute. Did you hear what you just read to me on St. John? And I was like, oh my goodness. Like, really? I was like, okay, like I'll ask what the process is and we'll just see. So I text this mom and she's like, yeah, I'll see what I can find out. Well, the next day, which happened to be July 2nd, they immediately call us to come in for fingerprinting. And we're just like, wait, what?
Wow.
Okay, what are we doing? But we're like, okay, well, we'll go do that because that's still not us saying yes.
Right.
So we go and we do that. And afterwards, it was a Wednesday. So we go to church to meet with Father Jason because we're like, let's just give him a heads up, see what he says. Well, of course, July 2nd, I didn't know this, was also St. John's feast day.
Yes. I actually walked into his church one day on July 2nd. I had no idea that, it's a lovely feast day.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I mean, I had no idea.
When things fall into place like that, it makes you feel so confident, right? That like, oh no, God is orchestrating this. He wants me to do this. It feels better that way, I think. But wow.
Yeah.
So what did Father Jason
he just, oh my gosh. Well, Father Jason, of course, he loves helping people. So, I mean, he was all in. He was like, dude, like, I think you need to do this. Like, and of course I have my book with me and I'm like trying to explain to him all the things in the book. And, of course, St. John Maximovich's icon is right in front of us when we walk into the church. And, and we got in the car that night and Derek was like, what do you want to do? I was like, I don't know. Like, what do you want to do? And he said, well, I keep telling myself, I don't know how we're going to do this. Like, we have 3 children. I mean, we don't have a huge house. He said, but then I asked myself, like, why not? Like, why would we not do this? Why would we not help? Will it be hard? Yes. But why are we not saying yes? Like we need, I think we need to help. Like St. John has shown us at this point, just 2 little signs, that he was with us. And so we said yes and found out that I guess in emergency situations, they will go ahead and place the child with you. And you can still go through the approval process, but have the child already.
Wow.
So
it all happened a lot faster than you thought, huh?
It really did. And it's crazy because like right before we got him, we went to Phoenix for the All-American Council. And I remember the Sunday before it started, Father Jason, we went to a church with him and his family. And at the very end, him and Derek went up for a blessing. And at the end, Derek comes to me and is like, he hands me this piece of paper and he goes, the priest's wife just handed me this picture. And I open it up and I mean, my whole body just felt, it was crazy. I opened it up and it was a picture of St. John Maximovich that she had handed him just out of nowhere, And she thanked him for coming to her church. Like,
wow.
I mean, I was like, out of all the saints.
Right. It could have been any icon. Didn't even have to be an icon. Yeah.
No.
But St. John works like that. I mean, I think I told you a couple of stories, but I mean, there are other stories of him that are just sort of these uncanny, like he's got something on his mind. He's kind of a stubborn guy, I perceive, just from sort of reading about him and looking at his icon. But, it's like he's decided that something needs to happen and he's not shy about letting you know. And it's really a cool thing. It makes him a very cool saint. I love that. Oh, that's beautiful. So he came and lived with you for a while.
He did. We had him, we got back from the All-American on a Sunday and we got home that Monday. Wow. It was very quick. Very quick. A big adjustment. I mean, he did very, very well at first. My kids, we just fell in love with him. And it got tough. I mean, the more he was with us and he got comfortable, it got very, very tough. But it's crazy because I tell people, as hard as he was at home with us, our life was the church. So I was so concerned with, Derek serves, Luke serves, I'm in the choir. How is this going to look with a 2-year-old? And so I told Derek, I was like, I'm going to hold him. I'm going to hold him in the choir with me. And I mean, that's what I did really with Luke when he was a baby to keep him, from trying to run around and be loud. So I was like, I think I can do this. I'm going to hold him. Alyssa, when I tell you that little boy never made a sound, I held him. He would start singing like the Lord have mercies, of course, as a 2-year-old, so he was following along. The excitement he got being in church is it is amazing. Like he could be one way at home, but he loved the church, which was and he had never been to church.
Wow.
But he loved it. And
that's so cool. Well, you have to think, a huge blessing. You must have somehow planted some seeds, right? Like there's someday, somewhere it's going to blossom into something, this beautiful time that he was able to have that was, enriched by the hymns and prayerful and with the Holy Spirit. And what a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. Yeah. How long was he with you?
He was with us. So, really, it wasn't even that long. It was from July, and then he transitioned fully home in October.
So he's back with his parents.
And he is back. Yes, he is back with his mom and doing well. Thankfully, she keeps in touch with us. We FaceTime. We've gone to see him. I actually babysat him one day, and the whole time he was here, he kept saying, "Church, I go to church." And it wasn't a church night. And so on the night that I knew Father Jason was going to be reading the story of St. Nicholas, we went and picked him up and took him to that Vespers with us. And again, even though he had not been in church for, I guess at that point, 2 months, he sang with me in the choir. He sat in Derek's lap while Father Jason read the homily. Not the homily, the story of St. Nicholas. And he did so good. So like you said, I just pray that all these little seeds are in him and that the older he gets, he'll find his way back.
There's some reason St. John wanted him to come stay with you for a little while, right? There's something. And now because you're in contact with the mother, if she ever needs something, he has kind of a second family where he can go, and she knows that he'd be safe. And that's really a blessing when things aren't easy as a single mom. That's neat. Now, do you feel called to just go foster a whole bunch of kids? Or do you feel no, I was called to foster this child and to develop a relationship with him and his mom?
People ask me that, and I'm like, I hate to say that I don't feel called, but I don't. I feel like there was a reason that I got this book of yours at that time. that just happened to be the same time that he needed a home.
Well, I mean, I think it's okay to trust your gut like that, right? And say, well, it seems like I would now become a foster mom all the time, but it feels like there was something specific going on there. And who knows? Who knows what was averted by you taking him for a little while, or where he would have ended up, and maybe it is that he's going to be like the next great bishop, and so God's getting him ready. Who knows? Who knows?
You never know.
That's a beautiful story.
It's been wonderful. That's cool. My middle daughter, I will say, because you had told me the stories that people write him letters. I had that conversation with my middle daughter, Anna Grace, and she's really struggled since he left because she just loved having him here. And she struggles with wondering if he's safe all the time and okay. So probably about 2 weeks ago, she sat down by herself. She's almost 15 and wrote a letter to St. John, and we mailed it off. And she really just asked for his guidance, and just to show her that he's going to be okay.
Yeah. Well, and St. John will answer in some way, right? I mean, there'll be, I had a 15-year-old who was writing to him all the time. And I'll tell you, we got answers one way or the other. We'd get an answer somewhere. And she'd just look up and she'd say, I asked him that. It was like, really? Yeah. No kidding. But, and sometimes they can't assure you that they're going to be safe, but they can promise you that it's okay to trust God about it. It's It's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. Well, I'm not surprised that that book had a big impact on you, not because of anything in the book, but because it's about myrrh bearers, right? It's about people who serve and take care of other people. And I feel like, you come from people who serve and you are people who serve. And so it makes perfect sense that would speak directly to you, because it sounds like, your husband is just all about serving the church and you're about serving. And I think it's a beautiful way to be. And I think there'll be a lot of blessings that come from it. So it's lovely.
Thank God.
I love that you decided to just jump in and do it. And it's so funny that it was fulfilled immediately. You didn't even have a minute to think
very
about it.
Quickly.
No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And we'll see what comes of it. You never know. You might be called on again to help him out. You never know.
Right.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful. So what's up for you now? So you're homeschooling too. I assume one, she's 20. Right. She finished up. Yeah. So you've got two more coming.
Yeah, I have two more that I am home with. My oldest is in college doing like a PTA program.
Oh, cool.
So she's doing that in a homeschool. So she's almost 20. And then I have Anna Grace that turns 15 on the 27th of this month. And then my son is 13. And
you've got your hands full. Yeah, go to church.
I do with him.
Thank God. That's beautiful. Yeah. I love that. Well, that is really neat. And you're giving them a really beautiful foundation. And hopefully you'll be luckier than your parents and they'll stay in the church.
I know.
I'm just kidding. I just think it's so funny that
I know.
Because as a parent, I always hear stories of other parents, and I'm always thinking like, oh, maybe I should have done it that way. Or how can we, as parents, we want to figure out a way to like really do a good job of this. And it's like, boy, they did such a good job that you found your way all the way to the true church. I mean, that's saying something. They may not know that was a real blessing, but boy, it really is. I mean, it's just awesome. It's so cool.
Yes.
Well, it's so good to meet you. It's so good to be able to talk with you. I'm really enjoying this. And I really appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. Like, I was very scared to do this because it's out of my comfort zone. But meeting you when I did the book club and then reading this book has just, like, I can't thank you enough. Like, both the book and being asked to be on here is such an honor. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for coming on the show. It was so good to get to know you, and I'm sure our audience enjoyed it too. And thank you, and best of wishes and good luck. And thank you to our audience for joining us tonight. Come back next week. We'll meet another everyday Orthodox Christian next Sunday night. Good night.